Hello.
Hello.
I got 2 free smartphones when I switched to Metro PCS.
One for him and one for me.
It's not for you. It's for people like me.
And parrots.
I knew I should have gotten a dog.
Get 2 free Samsung Galaxy J3 Prime smartphones when you switch 2 lines to Metro PCS and enjoy a 4G LTE network that's more reliable than ever before. Metro PCS. Wireless figured out. Coverage not available in some areas. Sales tax not included in phone price. Excludes numbers on the T-Mobile network or active on Metro PCS in past 90 days. See store for details, terms, and conditions.
Blog Talk Radio.
Hey everybody, this is the Coast to Coast Radio Show. I'm your host, Ron Fitch, and today we're going to talk about the Golden State Warriors winning the NBA championship over the Cleveland Cavaliers, and they are now the 2017 champion. I'm going to give you a breakdown. I'm also going to interview former NBA player Kermit Washington to tell his side of the story. But back to the game. The Golden State Warriors beat the Cleveland Cavaliers 129-120. I will tell you, 129-120 should tell you the lack of defense that was going on, especially on the Cavaliers side. Golden State Cavaliers made some tough shots. Golden State made some easy shots. It got easier looks. And that was a big key to this series. It started out well for Cleveland. They took a 37-33 lead. LeBron is hot. He's hitting his shots. Kyrie's doing what he's supposed to do. So everything's going well. And they were playing a little defense. But the thing about Cleveland is their defense is predicated on gambling and stealing and scrambling. They were smart to leave Draymond Green open. That worked out pretty good. But then the longer you do that, the more you leave guys like Curry open and Thompson open and Kevin Durant open. You're leaving Kevin Durant open. Really? That's your defense? That's the defensive game plan? Come on. Obviously, Golden State was a better team, but they made things. Cleveland really broke down. He took Kyrie Irving out, who was hot. And Kyrie Irving was mad when he sat. And Tyronn Lue should have never took him out. Golden State goes on a 15-2 run and gets the lead. So now they got the lead. So now they can relax and really play their game. They're not worried about the last year, the nonsensical debacle that happened last year, blowing the 3-1 lead. Now they have the lead. And they're up big. They're literally in after the second half, they were up 9 because J.R. Smith hit some crazy shots to bring Cleveland back. But then the second half, Golden State takes over. They're up 15. Then the incident happens where David West and Kyrie Irving are tangled up. Then there was a skirmish. Tristan Thompson got into it. J.R. Smith runs in, pushes David West, which was really stupid. But he had a great game. So I can't get on too much those technicals. But Cleveland made a comeback. And they made a comeback predicated on tough shots, some of the tough shots Kyrie Irving made in the third quarter, and J.R. Smith just being unconscious, hitting crazy off-balance, wild threes that brought him back into the game. So now they're only down 5, and this is where the problem lies. They started to break down defensively. Steph Curry driving in for a layup. Kevin Durant hitting the three-point shot. Klay Thompson had a great game. Really, really, really redeemed himself after the playoffs. He hit some big threes. He had 3 threes. He hit some big shots. And the bench played a lot better. Andre Iguodala, who really didn't have a great offensive series and played good defense, had 20 points. Big shot after big shot, but Cleveland was breaking down. And what was surprising me was LeBron James. LeBron James had a great offensive game. He had a triple-double. They averaged a triple-double in the series. He had 41 points, 8 assists, and 13 rebounds. So he did his job offensively. But defensively, I'm being real honest, he was poor. I mean, he broke down. He was guarding Andre Iguodala. A lot of times he would get beat backdoor. He wouldn't give help. You see Kevin Love on Steph Curry. Kevin Love is pushing up on Curry to take the three away. Okay. So Curry drives to the basket. He drives uncontested, and LeBron comes late. And then there was another time where Draymond Green got a big offensive rebound, tipped it to Sean Livingston for a basket. There was just a lot of mental breakdown. Trying to reach in on Kevin Durant, and Kevin Durant shoots the ball over him instead of playing good, hard-nosed physical defense. There was a lot of little things that, and it was a team, as a team, not just him. I'm not want to single him out. But as a team, I didn't like the scheme. You should have double-teamed Durant and Curry and leave Draymond Green open. And, yeah, Andre Iguodala hit some shots. I'm leaving them open. I'm not even guarding Petrulian. And I'm packing it in and playing like a mini zone. They tried that, but then they broke down, leaving Klay Thompson open the line. Curry was open. You leave one of the greatest three-point shooters of all time open for three-point shots, and Curry played good. And they finished them off in the fourth quarter, and they went up 13 when Andre Iguodala got a wide-open look. He got an alley-oop off of a Draymond Green pass. And then LeBron kind of went to work, but it was too late by then when he was scoring all his points inside. Golden State was giving up the layup because they didn't want to give the threes away. And they ended up winning. And I'm going to tell you, Steph Curry with 34 points, he was really, really good. He was efficient. He didn't throw lackadaisical passes, didn't take a lot of crazy shots. He was 10 of 20, and he had shots that, and he didn't have a big night from three. He's 2 of 9 from three. But he was driving to the basket. He played really smart and efficient. And, of course, Kevin Durant, the MVP, was the star of stars, 39 points, 5 assists, 7 rebounds. He is the best. Right now, he was the best player in the court in this series, even more so than LeBron because his points came in meaningful minutes, and he was the difference. And LeBron played great. And they were one piece short because they weren't that much better. Golden State wasn't that much better than Cleveland. You get 20 points from J.R. Smith. You get a good night from Kyrie Irving. He kind of slowed down toward the end because I guess his back was messing up. And LeBron James gives you a triple-double, and you still lose. That means you didn't play any defense. And their defense was porous, except for Game 4. Their defense was porous. And there were just gaps in their defense the whole series. And that was the key for the Warriors. The Warriors got better looks. And Cleveland got their points, but it was all contested tough shots. And I wanted to pay homage to Kevin Durant. He finally got his championship ring. And they said, oh, he jumped ship. Well, LeBron jumped ship and took us down to South Beach. Teams are linking up. Players are linking up with other players to play together. This is the way it is now. You might see Paul George go to L.A. now to play with the Lakers if they get Lonzo Ball. You're going to see players link up to team up with other players. Aldridge went to San Antonio. That's the way it is. And now I'm going to give Kevin Durant his full credit. He was the MVP. LeBron James, I'll give him kind of the participation trophy. He averaged a triple-double. He's 3-5 in the finals, so he's going to look to try to get back, to try to get another ring. I don't think it's going to happen. The way Golden State set up, they're going to win the next 2 or 3 championships. Kevin Durant's hungry. And one is not going to be enough. I just can feel that he wants to put together a run of a couple championships, and maybe he'll go down as one of the greatest players of all time. Could he eclipse LeBron? Maybe. I know that's blasphemy, but who knows? He's 27. He's just starting. He could win 4 or 5 championships with this team. A great job by Jerry West. We're going to have Kermit Washington, who used to play for Jerry West, call in. I'm really looking forward to him calling in and we breaking down everything. I had a really good talk with him. He had an incident with Rudy Tomjanovich in 1977 when he punched Rudy Tomjanovich, and he was vilified. Okay, he was vilified that year, but he was vilified for a long, long time, way too long. That was just unnecessary. I wanted to find out what type of person he was. Was he that person that threw that punch? And I found out that he wasn't. It was a moment in time. I have him on now, which I am honored to have on. I am honored to have former NBA player Kermit Washington on. I'm really excited to have you on. And before we get into anything, I just want to say how much I watched your feature, and I really loved the charity work you did. That really touched me. I just wanted to tell you that.
Well, thank you. That's very nice of you.
I want to kind of go down memory lane. First, what about the Warriors winning the championship? What was your opinion? Because that Jerry West is your former coach.
Well, a former coach and a former teammate. That shows you how.
Teammate, yes.
I was his teammate for 2.5 years. I was his teammate for 2.5 years, and then he became my coach the next year. And you know, his first year of coaching ever, we had the best record in the NBA that year with the Lakers. So, but we didn't win the championship. But he's a very good coach, very tough. One of the tougher coaches you'd be around. I mean, when I say tough, not one that scream or yell, but he would just make you work. I mean, in practice, you had to do. I mean, you were in shape. Let's just say that. You came to the games in shape. Jerry West was your coach.
Definitely. Now, I want to go down memory lane before we get into your Laker years. You averaged 20 points and 20 rebounds 1 year in college?
No, I did it for my whole career.
Your whole career in college? Oh, my gosh.
Yes.
I did not know that.
For 3 years. Well,
wow, at American University.
American University. Well, America doesn't play the teams that we used to play back. That's 40-some years ago. But we beat Syracuse, St. John's, Georgetown, Virginia Tech. We beat them all back then. But they changed to two different conferences. When I played, we were Middle Atlantic, I think. It was LaSalle, Temple, St. Joe's, Drexel, ourselves. But we played some really good teams. But as time went on, well, here's the thing. Coach Young was my coach, and he went on to Rutgers, and they went to the Final Four. But because our gym wasn't big enough, all the coaches would come and they would leave. I mean, just like Gary Wade, who won the championship at Maryland. He coached at American University, but they just couldn't pay those coaches. But the problem was, we always beat Georgetown and George Washington in the local schools. Then Maryland would never play us. But the thing is that you just couldn't pay the coaches. So the coaches would do well at American, and then they would move on to better places. So we just didn't build a bigger gym. We should have. And Georgetown moved to the Capitol Center. And I think it was Capitol Center or whatever downtown. And then Georgetown,
they left the field house to move to the Capitol Center. I remember that.
Yeah. So the thing is that Georgetown with John Thompson, and I've known John Thompson since almost over 50 years. I've known John Thompson, the Big John. Yeah, because he used to come to the playgrounds. The playgrounds.
Wow.
Like I tell people in D.C., 10 of us who used to play together on the playgrounds made the NBA. It'll never happen again, but those days are over. Just like in New York, you don't play like that with AAU taking over and different things. The way society has changed, they'll never happen again. But D.C. was, I would say, maybe third best city to get the NBA players, get the best players out of the city years ago. And it's a small city compared to New York, Chicago, Philadelphia, and teams and cities like that.
Well, I understand because my best friend lives in D.C., and he always tells me about the competition there. And now you get drafted by the Lakers. You're in Hollywood, and I want to talk about the 1977 season. You had the best work in the NBA. You're actually on a collision course to run into Dr. J, this was his first year from the ABA. You're on the collision course to play the 76ers, and then the incident happened with Rudy Tonjanovich. I want you to kind of tell my audience. I want it from your perspective of what happened.
Well, you have to realize back in those days, this is 77, the game was slower, so it was much more aggressive. And you had a lot of tough guys. I mean, you really did. I mean, if you got in a fight back then, it was a $50 fine. That's it. That's all it was. And people don't realize it. And I, in my book, and you'll talk about that later, it tells about the year before I was in Buffalo, and the whole team jumped me in Buffalo. I got in a scuffle with John Shoemade, and Fred Foster hit me in my head. Don Adams jumped on me. The team jumped on me. And it was all full forward. I mean, it was just an all-out brawl. But, see, that's what it was in those days. But, see, if you weren't aggressive, you didn't make it back then. You had to be aggressive.
Before I get into the answer, I hate to cut you off, but there was a practice where you were really physical with Kareem, and Kareem left the practice. Did that happen?
Well, yeah, that did happen. But here's the thing: Kareem and I got along really well, and maybe he wasn't having a good day. I don't know, but we don't know. But Kareem was a great practice player. I mean, he was an ultimate professional all the time. But I think because we were playing aggressive, let's say that, and I think he got upset and he just walked off practice, went on up the stairs, and went home. So that's true. I haven't remembered that. I haven't thought about that for 20 or 30 years. But Kareem was everything.
I'm a basketball junkie. Well, now let's get back to the incident. Now you're protecting your teammate Kevin Kermit. You guys got tangled up, and Alice Rudy T is running full speed at you, and you're not really. You kind of look at the last minute. Then tell the audience what happened.
Well, here's the thing. It was a rebound it was me, Kareem, and Kevin Cooner. And the rebound went up, and somebody got it, and a fast break started. I put my arm around Kevin Cooner to propel myself down the court to get it, and he elbows me in the face. And I really thought he had done it by accident. And so when he turned around, he hit me in my face again. He's a 7-footer. And then I said, okay, that he didn't do that by accident. So we got in a scuffle. And then as the scuffle's being broken up, I see Rudy running at me. So I didn't even know who Rudy was, to be honest with you. I had to check Moses Malone all the time. And sometimes you know what? You don't even know. You just say, I got to check Moses. I'm not thinking. I knew who Rudy Tomjanovich's name was, but I knew nothing more about him like that. And so when I saw him running at me, I turned and I swung. And it was just like that year before when the whole team jumped on me. I didn't know. But, you know, the thing is, Rudy Tomjanovich and I are Facebook friends. When we do talk to each other, we speak, we get along. I told him, you know, I didn't know. He's a great guy. But you don't know that.
Yeah.
It's just like the situation with these police all the time shooting everybody. They feel threatened, and they misinterpret, that's a better word, the intentions of people that are coming at them. So that's what happened. And so it's unfortunate because I think I would have been with L.A. when they won the championship with Magic and all those guys if I hadn't had that incident.
That's my next question.
Say that again?
Your skill set, that's my next question. Your skill set would have fit perfect with Magic and Kareem and Worthy, with you at the top for the way you ran the floor, and Nixon and then Scott. I think that, unfortunately, you would have plugged right into what Pat Riley would have done. And Pat Riley, believe, would have really loved you with your physical play.
Well, Pat Riley was my teammate, too.
That's right.
My teammate with the Lakers, too. See, you're going way back. See, people don't realize that, you know, I'm almost 66. And so you know what? Because they had Rambis there or AC Green, yes, I could have done what they did. But I was only, here's the thing, I tell people, after if you take out the first couple of years when I had to sit on the bench, I was like a 10-point, 10-rebound guy. That's all I was. I was nothing special. I was always in good shape, though, very, very good shape, and I played good defense. Yeah. Well, you know what? You just have to be strong back then. The game now, you can be fast. I mean, the game now deals with quickness. And that's why Petruccia, I hate to say this, in the game last night, I said, why did they put him in the game? The center for Golden State, Petruccia. Oh, he's just, to me,
I've been saying that for weeks.
I said, I was screaming at the TV, please take him out. I mean, he's just not fast enough. And I don't know why they didn't play McGee. I was saying, why isn't McGee in the game? He can run the court. But you know what? Cleveland doesn't really have a center, but they don't really need a center. They just need somebody who can get up and down the court because they're running team too. And here's the thing. I don't mean to change the subject, but everybody said it's LeBron against 5. Hey, Kyrie Irving, in my opinion, is the top 10 player in the league. Yeah, I'm telling you, the top 10 in the league. And they say, so I'm saying Well, Golden State has 2 of the top 10, and Cleveland has 2 of the top 10. But then Golden State has a few more. Oh, yeah, Love. And Love is top, I would say top 20, 25 in the league. So, I don't know what they're talking about. It's LeBron. Well, if you look at the stats, Kyrie averaged almost as much as LeBron did in the games. It was a great game. I mean, you're looking at talent. I mean, you're looking at some unbelievable plays, play after play after play yesterday. Just incredible. Just incredible game.
Definitely. And then getting back to you were vilified way too long. I mean, it was an incident. I thought it was way too unfair. One thing, if you get the suspension, then it should be over with, but you were never allowed to live your life without that being plagued. But you had a really good friend in Pete Newell. Explain to my audience about him.
Well, Pete Newell is the guy, he was the general manager of the Lakers who drafted me in 1973. I was the 5th player picked out of college. And he drafted me. I was the 5th player picked, but when they drafted me, they told me, we don't need you to play right immediately. We just need you to learn. Mm-hmm. But, when you're very young, you think, I'm going to play. I'm going to play. I'm going to get a lot of playing time. But, no, that's not true. The difference was I was a center in college, a 6'8" center. When I went to pros, they put me at the forward position, and that's facing the bucket as opposed to having your back to the bucket. That's just like all of a sudden putting Tristan Thompson out as a wing. I mean, he doesn't know how to play that. I'm not saying he can't play that, but he has to learn. And so I sat on the bench for the first 2.5 years, and I kept saying, please, somebody work with me. But we had 2 really good coaches. We had Bill Sharman and John Barnhill, but they were point guards. And the point guards, I kept asking them to work with me, but they didn't know how to work with me. But I knew that Pete Newell, who was the general manager, was a very good college coach. And so I would go up to him for the first couple of years and say, Pete, can you work with me? He says, I can't because it'll look bad, me working with you, when we have coaches down there that's supposed to have the ability to work with you. I said, but Pete, they don't know how to work with me. I want to get off the bench. Well, after my 3rd year, he retired. And he said, Kermit, now I can work with you. And so I used to pick him up at 7 o'clock in the morning, and we would go to Loyola Marymount, and we would practice for like 2 or 3 hours, and he would kill me. I mean, but he would show me the fundamentals. I mean, the fundamentals of how to play the forward position. And he told me if I worked hard and listened, I would become a very good – I never became a very good player, but he says you'll become a player that plays a lot in the NBA. And so I was with him for I don't know how many years, but it was me by myself at first, and then he brought in a couple of other players, but then his camp became the number 1 camp in the world. It'll never be another camp like that again, ever.
None.
Because you had, 7 or 8 Hall of Famers, future Hall of Famers come there, and when they were young, and participate. It was unbelievable. I mean, you had Shaq.
Camp was great.
Yeah, you had Shaq, Kareem, Walton, you had Worthy, you had Elijah Wan, you had Pippen, you had X-Man, you had Duckworth. Yes, all came. And great camp. I mean, it was like it'll never happen again. Nobody will ever have the best players in the world come and participate. And he didn't charge a single cent. I mean, it was in Hawaii. It was in like L.A. when it was really hot, and then Hawaii. But then as he started getting older, he needed more help. But when he was young, well, let me say this. When he first started working with me, he put us through it, I'm telling you. But all of us became pretty good players from either being bench warmers. Say that again?
No, I'm sorry. I before we go, I wanted you to talk about your book.
Okay. Well, the book is number 2020. My name of the book is 2020, The Kermit Washington Story. It took us 2 years to write it. It's 600 pages. And it has, they have different things from chapters from John Thompson, Jerry West, Seth Sanders, John Havlicek. I know people remember Ernie DiGregorio. They have, just go on and on. Who? Yeah, Ernie D. He was my teammate with the Lakers and the Clippers. No, Lakers and Celtics, yeah. And you have all these guys, but it talks about my whole life. It talks about from the beginning to where I am right now. And you can get it at Barnes & Noble. You can get it at Amazon. And if you hit me on Facebook, I don't have, I have no more room on Facebook for people. But if you hit me up, I can talk to you about it. Or they can go to my, they can go to my website, projectcontactafrica.org. projectcontact.org. I don't know if you can write that down, projectcontact.org, and you can see everything I've done, or leave me a message or something like that. Or go on Facebook with Project Contact and with Kermit Washington, and then you can leave me a message there. But no, everything's going good. I mean, I've had some problems with a gentleman stealing the identity of Project Contact Africa, which gives me a headache, but we'll take care of that. But that's part of life. That's part of life.
But your project, Contact Africa, you do a lot of charity work where you help a lot of less fortunate people in Africa and Rwanda and Nairobi, and that blew me away. You could tell my audience, we have like 2 minutes left. You can tell my audience about that.
Well, I went in 1994. I went to Rwanda during the massacre with and worked in a refugee camp in Rwanda and Goma, Zaire. And from there, you had hundreds of thousands of people who have been killed, maybe 900,000. So after that, basically, I said, I've got to help these people. So I've been to Africa 35 times. I've built a clinic. Right now, I have 50 kids. Me and another lady, we sponsor for school every month. We've done that for 11 years. We built a clinic. We have a feeding program. I worked with the NBA. We fed over 1 million kids over there. I have 3 families I take care of fully. That's 13 people. So the book is important because the book will help me work and pay for everything that's going on in Africa. I mean, so that's a lifesaver. I'm glad the book is done. I hope people pick it up. And I'm sure they'll find it interesting because it's more of a motivational book, because I tell people right away that I didn't really play high school basketball till my senior year. A lot of those games I never even got in. I didn't do any schoolwork till my junior year, and I graduated from college with honors and NCAA postgraduate scholarship. So things can happen if you work hard, and that's one thing sports did for me. It showed me by working hard you can overcome a lot of things.
Listen, now I have to let you go. You definitely overcame a lot of things, and you did a terrific job with that, and it has been such an honor to have you on my show.
Well, thank you very much. You take care.
Take care. That was Kermit Washington, and I was so happy to have him on to break that down and to show you that there were great NBA players in that era. It didn't just start in 2004. There's a lot of great players with Havlicek and Robertson, Oscar Robertson, and Sam Jones, and all those great players. Before I leave, I got to talk about the New York Yankees. They are coming. They got a good young team. They're loaded. Now they have good pitching. Aaron Judge will probably be the Rookie of the Year and the MVP, yes, because finding another player that's got 22 home runs right now, and we're just into June, they are coming. So I am happy to see the Yankees back on top. And they listen, I thought they'd be down a while, but they can get to the World Series this year. Their main competition right now is, of course, Houston, because they're 44-21. But my gosh, I'm gonna talk more about that. I got a couple more shows before I take the summer off, so I'm looking forward to the NBA draft show, and I have a boxing show coming up.
Hello.
Hello.
I got 2 free smartphones when I switched to Metro PCS.
One for him and one for me.
It's not for you. It's for people like me.
And parrots.
I knew I should have gotten a dog.
Get 2 free Samsung Galaxy J3 Prime smartphones when you switch 2 lines to Metro PCS and enjoy a 4G LTE network that's more reliable than ever before. Metro PCS. Wireless figured out. Coverage not available in some areas. Sales tax not included in phone price. Excludes numbers on the T-Mobile network are active on Metro PCS in past 90 days. See store for details, terms, and conditions.
Hello.
Hello.
I got 2 free smartphones when I switched to Metro PCS.
One for him and one for me.
It's not for you. It's for people like me.
And parrots.
I knew I should have gotten a dog.
Get 2 free Samsung Galaxy J3 Prime smartphones when you switch 2 lines to Metro PCS and enjoy a 4G LTE network that's more reliable than ever before. Metro PCS. Wireless figured out. Coverage not available in some areas. Sales tax not included in phone price. Excludes numbers on the T-Mobile network or active on Metro PCS in past 90 days. See store for details, terms, and conditions.